Just the normal way that we normally do. Unless you guys want to throw in a wacky, kooky, epic version of yourself.
Oh
Nah,
god, I
fuck
don't have the
that.
energy for that. You go for it though.
Alright, well, welcome again, everybody, to a belated episode of Metrocast. I am Leon Dion. You can find me on Twitter at the Leon Dion, and you can find me on Letterboxd under the same name. If you just type it in the search bar, I'm sure I'll pop up somewhere.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, yes, that's the goal. And today I have my good friends. I have Meredith Riggs, I have Mark, and I have my friend Dylan. And we're all here to talk about the new greatest movie ever made, and that would be...
Knives Out.
Oh my god, damn it.
No,
I was waiting for something like that. Ryan the Chad Johnson, as you all keep fucking posting.
No.
Ryan the
It's
Chad.
like, no, the best
You're
one.
such a Chad.
I'm waiting for Mark to draw a literal infographic of the Chad Ryan Johnson versus the Virgin J.J. Abrams. I'm waiting for that to happen.
All right.
I know it's gonna happen.
Okay, go!
I'm gonna post it in the next day.
No. Don't.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, J.J. Abrams is like garbage tier, so it's kind of
honestly,
it's not too hard to beat them.
If you get sauced on by Quentin Tarantino of all people, you're kind of shit tier.
Quentin Tarantino's
Wait,
pretty
who?
high tier, so I don't know what
Yeah,
you're
you got
talking about.
No. Quentin Tarantino being like, your fucking Star Trek movie is shit. Like, you gotta be trash at that point.
No, it's pretty
that's
epic.
just how it is.
I mean,
How it is, fam.
I mean, it's pretty epic, I'd say. But if you want to be
You'd
wrong,
say
that's
it's
your
pretty
choice.
Okay.
It's no Knives
Okay,
Out,
buddy.
to be fair.
It's more Knives Out-esque.
No, it's no Knives Out, to be fair.
Oh yeah, you're right. Like
Speaking
Once
of-
Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Speaking of horror dystopians, we're going to be living in one very soon if the Paramount Law gets removed.
For the folks at home and for me, what the fuck is the Paramount Law?
So the Paramount Law, I believe, was a law that was established sometime in the 40s, and it basically ended the golden era of Hollywood, where studios could no longer buy theaters and block out other movies that weren't made by the studio. The Paramount Law now allows all theaters to play any movie that they want. But now, if they're going to remove the Paramount Law, that means that Disney can literally buy theaters and play only Disney movies and remove literally all competition and make it a monopoly like it was before.
And they've already done that to 20th Century Fox as
Kind
well.
of
And I
illegal.
don't know. Don't quote me because I'm still trying to figure out how this is all working. But I think essentially now 20th Century Fox movies cannot be screened. So
Yes,
the Sound of
they've
Music.
been vaulted.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
So
What?
no more Home Alone, no more. I believe Gremlins is owned by them, so no more Gremlins screening, no more Die Hard, no more Alien, nothing like that. Anything that was a Fox property that Disney now owns can no longer be screened for like a special event, like a 40th anniversary, unless Disney says so.
Wow.
Think about why you've never
Because-
seen a Disney animated film in theaters ever. That wasn't like before, like that, like I would say classic era or even like the 30s and 40s, anything like that. There's a
What
reason
the
why.
fuck?
There's a reason why. It's because they vaulted so that way
The
value.
vault.
Yeah, the vaults. So the value will go up essentially when you go and buy the movie. They want you to buy physicals because then the next time that they put it out, they're going to add more details to it, or they're just going to release a different updated version of it by making the aspect ratio look a little bit better, or the colors look a little bit more saturated or not saturated, whatever it may be. But they add very little detail. But the reason why they do this is so that way the physical market will rise and inflate in value, because there's limited copies of whatever this movie is. And they're going to do that to Fox films as well, especially classic Fox films.
Fucking lame.
But that's not the Paramount Law. The Paramount Law basically prevents monopolies of theater chains. So Disney can't do what they were trying... Like, Disney can't do what MGM was doing back in the day, where MGM owned theaters, and you could not see any other movie than an MGM movie. And they would keep their movies in theaters all year.
But hasn't Disney already been doing this? Like they've found like
Yes,
loopholes where it was like
yes.
it was like
Or
with
they
the Quentin
tried to.
Tarantino thing with like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring
if
up.
you
When
want
he-
Star
they tried
Wars,
to-
you're gonna have to play this over the Hateful Eight.
Working at a
And it's
theater,
like, oh, shit.
working at
Well,
a theater, we
that was the
do.
thing, yeah.
Working at a theater, we have to deal with this. We get emails from Disney, basically, just not like telling us that we have to, but it's like basically it's an under the table kind of deal. I would feel as though like it's just play Star Wars in IMAX for 3 weeks minimum. After that, you can play any other movie you want. But in order to play any of the Disney movies, if we want a Disney movie, we have to play it in the biggest auditorium.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
that's the rule. I mean, that's how we do it. We have to play Disney movies in the biggest auditoriums if we want to distribute and play Disney movies. That's how it's been for a little bit now. And I'm willing to believe...
Threat you, they're like bullies.
I'm willing to believe that Disney has lobbyists going up there right now and telling the Department of Justice saying... And this is the reason why the Department of Justice is saying that they can remove the Paramount Law and saying that it's null and void in today's society. They say that the cinema landscape has changed so much since when that law was enacted that they don't need that law anymore, because people consume their movies differently, and I would assume that they attribute it to streaming. And it's like, no, you don't get it. That's not that doesn't help. It's so frustrating because they are willingly allowing monopolies to consume more. Disney already owns so many fucking media properties. It's insane to me that they're just gonna let them do this.
Yeah. The whole media conglomerate, what is it? There's like the big six?
Yeah, Big Six,
like
I believe.
Everything's pretty much owned by like six. That's just insane.
All your news sources come from only 6 different companies.
Yeah.
There's no real independent journalism anymore. That died a long time ago.
Yeah.
You have 3 of them that are Democrats, and you have 3 of them that are conservative.
I'm not sure. I believe it's 4 that are Republican, 2 that are Democrat, but I could be wrong on that last time I checked. But I could be wrong. But basically, the whole Paramount Law puts everything in jeopardy. It puts the whole world of filmmaking in jeopardy. You can't see The Irishman anymore in theaters, even if The Irishman is only going to be released in 1 week. If all theaters are owned by Disney, boom, there goes the indie chain market. There goes my independent films, because they're not going to be able to be played in other theaters. It's such a shame to me that if this does actually go through, that means that everything is going to change, and for the worse. Because a lot of, I would say a lot of normies, I'm going to use that unironically, a lot of normies would willingly pay for any sort of Disney movie pass where they get to go watch Disney movies for free if they pay a subscription fee. Look at Disney Plus. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, if Disney is planning on moving on to television... I mean, there's so many different avenues and facets that this whole Paramount Law affects. It changes so many different ways about how movies are distributed, how they're consumed. People will look at movies as more disposable than ever because, I mean, how else are you going to watch a movie? Oh, I'll just watch it at home. Well, I'm going to play with my phone during the whole time this movie's on. Or I'm going to be doing my chores while this movie's on in the background. And it could be something like Uncut Gems playing, and people won't pay attention to it. It's so frustrating.
And then the whole issue with streaming, and I've seen a lot of people argue this, it's not an original thought or anything, but like with streaming, I see it as there are good components to it, and then I think there are bad components to it. And one of the bad components is that you think a lot of times that with streaming that you're going to have access to all these different movies and shows like forever, as if you
own them.
Basically, like streaming, it's you're at the mercy of however long they're going to keep these up.
Yes, because you don't own the movie.
Yeah.
The company owns the license to the movie, but as soon as the license expires or that they don't want to renew it, boom, your movie's gone. You don't own the movie.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know how true this is, but I've seen threads about how iTunes, you don't actually own the movie on iTunes. Like, it's kind of more of a, if we have it in our digital library still, then hey, like, cool, you get to watch your movie. But as soon as we lose it, then your movie doesn't really exist anymore in your library.
Jeez.
I mean, Meredith and I were talking about this earlier, but like TCM and Criterion, right? I don't know if TCM has a streaming service anymore, if they did before. But I know Criterion has a streaming service. But let's say that Criterion is not getting the money to continue their streaming service. They're not. I mean, there just goes a whole bunch of classic film that you cannot watch anymore. I mean, legally. Let's say legally, you cannot watch these movies anymore. But now...
Well,
Sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, if TCM... I believe that was Filmstruck, right? TCM was Filmstruck?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Filmstruck, and that lasted for
maybe
a
year,
long?
2 years.
Yeah.
And so that died. And now you can't watch those movies if they aren't available on other streaming platforms legally. You cannot do that. So people have to pirate these movies. And the U.S. is going further and further to crack down on pirates. But the thing is, pirates are unironically doing what the Library of Congress should be doing, and that is archiving these movies. Like... Pirates unironically archive films that we would never be able to see.
Yeah.
How do you think we have footage of The Day the Clown Cried? We have pirates who were able to get those segments, those clips, and they
that movie's so good.
Yeah,
the movie's a masterpiece. Have you seen it?
I have not. I've not seen any of the. I've not seen any of the actual clips. I know of the movie, and I've done research about the movie, but I've never seen any actual clips from the movie.
Okay, tell me why it sounds like it would be the best movie of all time.
I think it's an interesting premise, and I think that it also has an interesting figure behind it and in front of it, being Jerry Lewis, the screwball comedian, being in his very serious Holocaust film.
The Goat?
Oh, that movie. I want to see that, yeah.
Yeah, the Holocaust movie.
It'll come
it's
out
like 2024.
Yep.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
But
long time.
Just think about this. Like, I was talking to Meredith about this earlier. Like, if TCM dies, let's say that TCM just goes under, they aren't able to financially protect themselves anymore. Then we're at the mercy of the big studio chains who own these movies, whether they want to release them or not. I don't like that at all.
No. I mean, there have been, like, rumors before. I think it was a year or two ago. And there was, like, people were getting scared because I can't remember what it was. But, you know, I don't know how actually possible it was that TCM was going to go under. But, like, I've seen that. Like, people, you know, there were circulating a couple of articles around. You know, people were freaking out. They were like, oh, God, you know, TCM is getting bought by such and such. Like, is this going to exist? Like, you know, it's like... It's so scary that, like, you know, you could think of this channel that, like, a lot of people, I don't know, like, it's not just a channel to a lot of people, as cheesy as that sounds, but, like, TCM has built up such a culture, like, with the film festival where, like, thousands of people go to it, or these cruises, or, like I said, you know, people go and watch it, like, every single day, and they've met people through, like, networking. So it's crazy, like, to think about that and how, like, freaky it is that it could just go like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. The possibility of everything that people love, especially film historians, all of it can just disappear because of logistics and laws and lobbyists and people who don't care about film.
Exactly. And I was going to say also, I read this article, this was like months ago, somebody had shared it on like Facebook or something, and it's essentially talking about the history of people pirating films, and there was this really cool article to like share with you guys about people in, I guess it was like more in the 60s with, I don't know, like probably 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, whatever it would have been, and like there was a lot of pirating going on at that point too, and just how many like people just trying to keep copies of film in back then, you know, with it being physical film and everything. Like, I think it's just really interesting how that's translated and how long that's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so like again, Disney I'm sure they own the master prints of those Star Wars movies that have been unaltered. You know, the despecialized versions is, I guess, what fans call them. I'm willing to bet Disney owns the master prints of those and will never release them. The only physical form of those movies that exist are the VHS copies.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Okay.
And those movies are extremely rare because of that. But, like, again, we'll never get those movies because Disney doesn't want you to see those versions. They want you to see the versions that they deem palpable to modern audiences. So they imagine it with a whole bunch of CGI, special effects, tuning the audio so it sounds even like it. I mean, those movies were built with a very specific sound frame in mind, and now you're going to change the way that those movies sound so that way they are applicable to whatever modern setup you have. But in turn, they may sound worse because of it. The same way that movies today are getting way too loud. Like, action scenes are way too loud, but dialogue scenes are way too quiet. And you have to constantly be balancing that out in your audio mix, or you just have to, I mean, if you don't have a sound bar and you don't have all the proper sound equipment in your house, what that equivalates to is you just have to keep turning the volume up and down on the remote. I mean, that's what it is. I always just keep subtitles on in every movie I watch at this point now. If it's a modern movie, that's what I do. But, I mean, that's. I figured we should just talk about the Paramount Law because I figured it's kind of important.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely so. I think it needs to be talked about as much as possible. Like, I don't know if there's anything, like, on our level as citizens
that we can do, because it's the Department of Justice. I mean, it's the Department of Justice. I'm not sure if there's anything that, like, you can do. If you can talk to Congress and say, like, hey, this is important. Here's why it's important that we keep it. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up and see, definitely. That's just, ugh.
You all right there, Mark?
Oh,
you just had, like, I thought you were talking, but the static was going through, so I was, like, wondering if you were all right.
No, I'm just trying to make sure something's going on right now. But, yeah, this is a very important issue. Please inform your local Edward Yang or Andrew Yang or whatever the fuck that guy's name is.
Just let anybody know, really. If anyone
let anybody know.
Let anybody know, honestly. Even if someone's a moderate film fan or even just a very, like, on the surface, I'm here for entertainment, it's to protect the consumer. The Paramount Law is there to protect the consumer. And it's amazing to me that we'll remove it if it actually does go through, if it hasn't already.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a lot of people don't know about it. And Disney is, like, so good at how do I want to put it, like,
hiding the
wool
truth
over people's eyes or enchanting. You know, it's like everybody's psyched about Disney Plus, which I know we were going to get to at some point.
But that's a good transition.
It's like almost like some kind of divergence or something where, you know, it's like I think people sometimes see Disney as like this company that can, like, do no wrong. Disney's like golden, you know, it's amazing.
They're the golden children.
Yeah, and so it's like a lot of people I don't think realize, like, that there's this horrible
evil side of they're evil. I'll say it. Disney's evil.
They're evil.
They're evil.
There goes our sponsorship. Damn it.
Disney is evil. I will say that, man. Like, they are evil. The way that they handle properties the way that they buy properties and then just keep them hidden away. If you're not a Star Wars, good luck ever coming out of the vault. Like, for a long time. They're evil, and to me, I don't understand why people want Disney Plus. I just don't get it. I mean, maybe it's for the family, but even then, you already have bought those movies. I'm sure you have bought Toy Story, Finding Nemo. You've bought all the Disney films that you want to see. Why would you
Why do you need a whole venue for it? I don't get that.
Especially considering that the content that Disney Plus has been putting out is not good. I've seen Noelle. It's not a good movie. I mean, the only thing that people are like, oh yeah, Disney Plus is great for is The Mandalorian, which I haven't seen. I can't comment on the quality, but it's like, why would I pay $12 a month for one TV show?
On God. Congrats.
Yeah. There's a couple things that, like, I'm really interested in, but I'm like, I haven't done it. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to give into it, but...
And the thing is, you're giving money to this corporation that's already rich. They're already super rich. They have so much money. They don't need more. Like, they're fine.
Yeah.
All of their movies, except for Dumbo this year, have made $1 billion.
Yeah, and Joker.
Joker.
No,
And Joker.
Joker has not been. I mean, imagine that one day Disney actually buys Warner Brothers.
No,
Yeah.
Disney just buys Joker.
Just buys the property of Joker.
Just buys
The property to Joker. Like
Big fan.
they're like, fuck you. You can't have Batman without Joker, so we'll buy Joker.
Yeah, we'll buy Joker. No, you
and then
can't.
you have to sell us Batman.
Just because the remakes that they've been putting out are inferior versions of the movies that they've made before. We all know this.
Exactly.
Aladdin and Lion King. I haven't seen Dumbo, but I'm sure it is. They are easily the most identifiably laziest remakes of their classics. Easily. Aladdin feels like the cheapest movie for being an expensive movie, and The Lion King makes my blood boil.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it's not that bad. But
What isn't that bad? Lion King?
Lion King's not that bad. You're just overreacting, but
No. No, I already saw Lion King when I was a child, and I saw Lion King again, and I saw the worst version of it. I saw the worst version of it in theaters, and I hated it. And
yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna disagree with you there. It is the worst version, but it's not god awful.
Now you have Frozen 2 that's out, and it's breaking records. Star Wars is breaking records again for pre-sales. And to me, it's just like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen, is that one movie studio owns the entire filmmaking landscape in America. I can't speak for Japan, I can't speak for the UK or France or anywhere else, really. But Canada suffers from what we do to them because we put our American movies in their theater. There's a reason why they don't really have a film industry in Canada, because we put our movies in Canada, and we're like, take it, you have to watch our movies.
It's like a parent feeding a child with a spoonful of shit.
Spoonful of broccoli or whatever. Like, they don't want it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you gotta dip it in cheese, and then they're like, ooh, maybe.
Ooh.
Cheesy shit.
Ooh,
Love it.
Yes.
But Dylan, what do you think about all this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were just curious what you thought.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you guys have said everything that'd probably be on my mind, so no comment.
No Cronenberg.
No Cronenberg, yeah.
No more cool screenings of movies that you'd like because they've been bought by Disney.
No, because Tarantino just like owns all the prints anyway.
He does.
That's why freaking December, New Bev has fucking Gremlins, Home Alone, Die Hard screenings on 35.
It's a big.
You know what? He's I hate him so much, but if the end of the world ever happens, I can always count on Quentin Tarantino to have like a whole nuclear shelter, a fallout shelter full of just 35mm prints of every film from 1905 to current.
Honestly,
even if they weren't shot on film, he still found a way.
some like fanfic of that or something.
Freaking Joker going from digital to film.
Yeah.
He has the film print already.
Fucking like digital film print of Joker.
It's on a flash drive in a vault next to Eppenstein's Suicide Note. Bruh.
No, don't commit suicide. God damn.
He didn't even do it. You know what?
No.
Disney is becoming a dictatorship. And you know what a dictatorship is?
Through media? I'd say through media for sure.
Definitely. And you know what? I'm gonna compare them to the Nazis. You know what else is the Nazis? You know what else is the Nazis? Jojo's Rabbit.
What a transition.
Segue.
I've seen, let's not spoil the movie. Let's not spoil the movie for Meredith. She hasn't seen it.
I mean,
yeah.
you go for it if you want.
Oh, spoiler alert! They lose.
They lose. The Nazis lose the war.
That's how it ends.
This is the worst Taika film of his filmography that I have seen. Yeah, it is. It's the worst one.
What?
I've seen Hunt for the Wilder People, I've seen Thor, and I've seen What We Do in the Shadows, and this is the worst one.
No, Thor Ragnarok was the worst one. Fuck off.
Thor Ragnarok's actually
Thor
pretty
Ragnarok's
good.
bad, but Jojo Rabbit
see
is
Dark
like
Shadows?
Antichrist.
Dark Shadows is a good movie.
Antichrist.
JoJo's Rabbit is like Antichrist cinema.
think
Oh,
I've seen that.
Exactly.
It's a good one. You should watch it. It's a
How?
great. It's a
Okay.
great. It's a great
It's
comedy.
like JoJo's Rabbit is basically Taika Waititi's Antichrist.
Oh, you know what?
What an
All right.
embellishment!
All right, so
I
This
mean,
is
you can take
basically-
that what you will. I mean,
has
honestly,
been-
that was also equally as polarizing.
Jesus Christ, this has been a long time coming. Dylan's been waiting to get his mind off of this movie that he absolutely hates called JoJo's Rabbit, directed by Taika
Oh no,
Waititi.
I'm just like I've been moving on to. I just been doing that just by watching better movies.
When I saw the half star pop up in my feed, I was like, God damn!
Oh, the fucking half star.
Yeah, I said, God damn!
I was like, oh shit, god damn,
God damn.
god damn.
You're telling me
I was
you
like,
didn't
oh.
like the tall man coming in and saying like, "Oh, you got your little book, little Adolf Hitler, what is it, youth camp kid? I don't know.
You
Little."
can't kid.
He's like,
And
"Jojo,
then-
where is your knife?"
Talking about like Stephen Merchant doing like German
Yeah.
accent.
I like Stephen
No,
Merchant, but
I'm talking about Sam Rockwell playing a gay Nazi.
It's basically going through the same arc that he does in like 3 Billboards.
yeah, except it's less.
off.
It's worse.
He's like racist but good.
He's like a good race. He's a good-hearted gay racist or closeted homosexual.
Yeah.
Again, like 3 Billboards.
It's just.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's not. I mean, okay, so there are things that I like about Jojo Rabbit. I like Taika for some bits of it, of him as Hitler. Some of it is actually funny. I think Jojo's little friend, the little fat friend, is actually kind of funny. He has some good one-liners, especially about him being a child soldier. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
He fucking blows up an antique shop.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit.
They're like good moments like that. The comedy's like alright. It's not funny. It's not like extremely funny. I should say, but I think it's very average, and I don't think it's as bold or daring as maybe people put it out to be. It's just not. It's not that funny as a dark comedy. I never got the sense of it being like dark.
Neither is it as
Yeah, it's not really a dark.
Yeah, but that's what it's been like, kind of advertised.
Keeps everything
as.
light, super light. Yeah.
No, it's advertised as an anti-hate satire.
Yes,
Oh my God,
that's what I was saying.
right.
It as anti-hate satire.
Because, you know, you can't make a movie about anything anymore.
Unless it's commenting about current day topics.
Well, you know what? That's what your French directors do, and you love it.
That was a weird moment when Taika Waititi.
I mean, yeah, to be fair with High Life.
It was a weird moment when Taika Waititi looked at the camera and said, "Vote Hillary Clinton 2020." I thought that was a very bold decision from him. Something I wouldn't have predicted, to be honest, but I thought it was a very unique director choice.
No, that was pretty different. It reminded me of Vice, actually.
Yeah, when he was screaming as Hitler, that was interesting. I mean, he just got done doing a very racist rant, then looks at the camera and says, "Vote Hillary," and then none of the characters acknowledge what happened, and he continues acting. It was very weird.
Yeah, and even in, like, the soundtrack, there was, like, whispers where it was like,
Hillary, Hillary, Hillary. You know, stuff like that.
shit like that. It's very confusing.
Whisper, whisper, whisper. I mean,
Whisper,
that was
whisper.
epic. I know Dylan loved it when they started dancing to Heroes by David Bowie.
But David Bowie sucked.
Fuck you, liar. You
Iconic
like
moment.
David Bowie.
Come on, Dylan.
The only
Come on,
good
Dylan.
thing was like fucking Lost Highway song.
Is that the only good thing about this film?
No, it's fucking Lost Highway.
Yeah, just
Jojo
Lost-
Rabbit has nothing.
Is that the only good thing about this film, Dylan?
Jojo,
Which
say,
film?
not Jojo, what the fuck? Dylan, say a good thing about Jojo Rabbit.
I
Yeah,
don't
say
have
one.
any good things to say. About
I'm
it.
sure you could find something.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I don't know. Not really. No.
See, that
Taika
was the
Waititi.
concern.
You found him funny.
Probably fucking thing.
You found him funny, didn't you? You chuckled a little bit when he said the thing.
When
No.
he's
It's like it was like boring.
It was boring.
Word?
So boring.
You didn't like Scarlett Johansson
like-
putting on the worst
felt
German
like
accent you've ever heard?
Fucking felt like watching Satan Tango again.
You would have rather watched that over.
Yes.
I don't think I'd want to watch the Turin Horse over this one because
I would rather watch the Turin Horse.
I don't
that
think
shit
I
was
could.
briskly paced.
Oh,
man.
Oh my god.
no, it wasn't. That was like the
It
pace
was
of
like
a
just
snail
like,
that fucking
oh my
died,
god, this
man.
is like real life.
Horse? Oh
It's like
god.
real life.
Which reminds me, Mark, we still gotta finish that movie.
Which movie?
The Turin Horse.
Fuck you.
You like dipped like 40 minutes in.
You know what? Eat
When it was
shit.
just getting good, when he was getting out of the house and like
Eat
on the
shit.
carriage again.
Eat
Oh
shit.
my god.
You eat shit. You eat shit. You definitely eat shit. Eat shit.
But look, so yeah, Jojo Rabbit, it's bad, but it's not as bad as the worst movie of all time, Zombieland 2 Double Tap.
We talked
these
about
transitions are
The worst
we
fucking
talked about it in the mini-sode. I don't think it's that bad, but Dylan
It's
hates
so
it.
bad.
Why do you
Dylan
hate it?
Why do you hate
It's the
JoJo's
worst
Rabbit?
fucking thing ever.
How is it the worst thing ever, Dylan?
It's like Devil Spawn.
You're saying
Maybe
you
it
Devil
would want me
Spawn.
to like claw my eyes out.
What?
who'd you watch it with, your grandma?
Everything about it is just ugh.
What?
Gamma?
Zombieland 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Zombieland
you're telling
2 or
me you
JoJo's
didn't like
Rabbit?
you didn't like Madison
Well,
in the movie?
well, Jojo's Rabbit 2, but Zombieland 2 basically made me want to do it more.
JoJo's Rabbit is like Godspeed compared to Zombieland 2.
You didn't
But
like.
yeah, just my like thing. They're like bottom tier of the year.
You're telling me
Holy
that
God.
you
Like
didn't.
literally, it's Zombieland 2 is worse, and then right after that's Jojo Rabbit.
You're telling me you did not like it when Woody Harrelson started singing Elvis Presley.
No.
Fuck you.
The only
no.
part I did like was the end credits.
Why is that?
Because the movie
Where
ended.
fucking Bill Murray comes out
Oh.
and like goes like starts beating the shit out of and just like fucking kills Grace Randolph.
Just beats the shit out
I'm
of
like,
Grace Randolph.
wow. And did you know about that? Did you know about that, Mark?
Zombieland 2 where he beats Grace Randolph?
Yeah, where he like freaking kills Grace Randolph like with like what is it, metal plates or something, or
Wait,
it's
is
like,
that when
you
he
gotta
fights,
find it.
is that when
Dylan,
he fights zombie Mike Tyson?
No.
I'm looking at
Are-
Dylan's bottom 10 right now. He's got Polar, Holiday, Lion King, The Highwaymen, Godzilla, King of Monsters, Captive State, The Silence, Yesterday, Jojo Rabbit, and Zombieland Double Tap, bottom tap. Fuck.
Oh, you
Yes.
should see
The
my
good part
bottom
of that
10.
movie was the end credits.
My bottom 10 is
And it
even
was
worse.
over.
Let's see what this is. This bottom
My
10.
bottom 10's fucking trash.
Films I saw in 2019, or is it 2019 ranked? No, there's no 2019 ranked. It's films I saw.
Nope. Films I saw 2019.
Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't count, so I'm gonna say that it. So you have Dumbo, Happy Death Day to You, Midsummer, Captain Marvel, Yesterday, Hustlers, Blinded by the Light, Countdown, and It Chapter 2.
And then Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh,
That's
yes.
my 10th one.
That's your 10th one. Okay. See, I didn't pass elementary school.
Out of 3 out of 10, that's my 10th fucking movie that I hated this year. Like, God, that was so trash.
I can look at my bottom 10. Let's see. My bottom 10 would be Hellboy, Wonder Park, Tall Girl, Leaving Neverland, Unicorn Store, The Lion King, Loquisha, Jexy, After, Unplanned, and The Haunting of Sharon Tate.
LaQuisha is better than half of the shit that came out this year. It's
No.
better than The Lighthouse.
No.
It's so much better than The Lighthouse.
You're fucked.
To
You're
be fair.
fucked. Meredith, have you seen Loquisha?
I mean, there's a lot of films that came out this year that are better than The Lighthouse.
Loquisha is like Loquisha
Like
is a
Hobbs, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw is better than The Lighthouse.
oh my god, I can't believe it.
Yes,
Oh, no,
Hobbs
I
and
have no
Shaw.
idea about this.
Bruh.
They,
Oh my
look,
God, I
Meredith
never
doesn't know
watched
about
this.
Loquisha, or have you
I
seen it?
want to know about this now.
Oh my god, Loquisha's fucking terrible. It's unironically racist. Like,
Oh,
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's
It's anti-hate
intentionally
satire.
on.
Genuinely has one of
Dylan.
the lowest IMDb ratings I've ever seen. It's got a 1.2 out of 10.
Loquisha is a movie about a
Who are
man who
idiots?
it's a movie about a man who runs a bar, and then he's like talking about how he needs to get some quick cash fast for his kid to go to some school because his wife is a bitch, or his ex-wife is a bitch, and so he's like starting to put on a voice. He's like, "Hello, everybody, yo, here with Loquisha," and he's like pretending to be a black woman, and he's like, "This is my black woman voice," and I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck this movie."
Oh no.
It's so good.
And like when he's like, I think I might be a black woman trapped in a white man's body. I'm like, cinema.
No, it's like Taika Waititi anti-hate satire.
Exactly.
That's what LaQuisha is.
No.
I repeat, we have a national alert. Bruh moment.
National bruh
Bruh. Bruh.
Will you all please stand for the national anthem?
Bruh, 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 bruh. La 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 la, Quisha.
Stop. It's not good.
With a 5 out of 10.
It's a bad movie.
Jesus.
And Rian Johnson is in.
Arian Johnson? What?
Rian Johnson.
Arian Johnson. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brothers. Hell yeah, brothers.
Oh my god.
Every time I hear about him, I keep thinking about Karina. He's married to Karina Longworth. And I'm just
Is
like,
Ryan Johnson?
Yeah. They got married like last year. But yeah, the You Must Remember This podcast host.
What
Well,
the
she
fuck?
rates host. Yeah, and I don't know why, but every time I hear him, I'm like, Karina, because I've listened to that podcast a lot. But anyway,
I
way
wonder
off
if he
topic.
hops on the podcast and says, "Hey, check out my new movie. It's a deconstruction of the Star Wars saga. I disappoint you in more ways than you could ever imagine. I disappoint your
Jesus
whole generation."
You sound like Red Letter Media.
Yeah, it was because the movie was fucking awesome.
That movie was so good.
That movie was fucking awesome.
what do you
Yeah,
mean?
bro, I spilled my popcorn everywhere. That movie was fucking awesome. I chewed as loud as I could in the theater,
Yeah,
put my
'cause, like,
feet
I
up
was,
on the
like,
chairs.
jaw dropping theater.
Like you know what? Rian Johnson is like the Elon Musk of filmmaking. Like you saw that fucking Cybertruck? That shit is like gangster.
And then it broke.
He's so funny.
That shit, the fucking window
That's
broke.
what the fucking thing was.
Yes, it's a real truck.
When I see it on
That's a
Twitter,
real
oh my
fucking truck.
god.
It's a real
fucking
truck. And it broke
No,
on.
It's a real truck.
Fuck
It-
off.
It
broke
broke
on stage.
Yeah, it broke on stage.
It was the funniest shit. No. Okay, so this is what happened, guys. Basically, he was like, "This is it's a bulletproof, like window."
Yes, because
And
I'm
he's
being
just like, he
shot
calls
at
up
all
a
the
random
time.
fucking guy. He picks up a random fucking guy from the crowd, and he's like, "I want you to throw this like fucking stone at the window." He fucking throws it at the window. That shit cracks. It shatters actually, and just you hear Elon Musk like wheeze. He's like, "Fuck, you know what? Maybe you threw it a bit too hard." And then the whole crowd's just there like, "Bruh."
Then they bring out another car and he throws it again. It breaks even harder than the last time. In fact, the whole car implodes upon itself.
I know, it's so fucking good.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
fucking love that.
I love the
that.
memes. I love the memes.
The memes for that.
The Halo car.
It does look like the Halo.
The Warthog.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Crowdfund for Metro. We can all invest and get one of those cars.
Let's
You know
get
what?
some
It's actually
Tesla
really
stock.
affordable. It's actually kind of affordable. It's 40 grand for that.
You're not gonna gaslight me. You can't
I'm
gaslight me.
I'm gonna fucking buy that shit.
You can't
I'm gonna-
gaslight me.
No, it's 40 grand. It's 40 racks. It's
I
only
am
40
not.
racks.
I am not Boogie 2988's fans. I will not be gaslit.
Wait, Boogie? Oh,
Book-
like that YouTuber?
Yeah, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He was like,
What?
he's like,
Really?
I just spent $100,000 on this new car. Oh, it's so expensive.
when you post something, when Mark posted that fucking
They just
image,
posted
I
an
was like-
image of the car. Oh Jesus.
Oh my god.
That's the literal. That's a literal meme mobile. That's more of a fucking meme than smart cars were.
You know what that shit looks like?
Looks like
You know what that shit looks like?
like a low render fucking PS2 graphic.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, that too.
Jesus.
You guys are fucked. Stop. It's not a car from Blade Runner. Yeah, so Meredith, basically Boogie2988 bought a Tesla, and then he started gaslighting his fans about how he needs this money. He's like, yes, please, buy me a Tesla. I would love a free Tesla. Keep donating me money. And he, like, is a scumbag piece of shit. I mean, the guy literally is just gaslighting his audience to be like, please, please, I need money. I can't afford this car. I put myself in the hole.
Oh my god. Okay, that's no good.
Yeah, no, he's a scumbag. He made a weird video on Twitter about, like, he's like, I hope everyone has a good year in 2019 because this last one was hard. And the camera gets closer to him, and he's like, so am I. And he posts this on TikTok on an app made for children.
Oh my god.
Ew, gross.
It's cringe.
He was like,
No.
he was talking about how he hasn't had children because he fears that he may beat or molest them. Like, what the fuck?
When the fuck did he
Oh.
say that?
Look it up. It's a 7-minute clip of Boogie2988's clips. Like, it's just called Boogie Being a Bad Person or something like that. You can find it, and it's like clips of Boogie2988 exposing himself as an actual bad person. He was saying that people who hate on him are worse than Nazis and rapists because at least Nazis and rapists believe in something and stand for something.
Bruh.
Yeah, and it's like,
That's a bad take.
oh, it's really bad. And then he stood by his opinion. He's like, those people who hate on me don't stand for anything. They want to play the Joker in real life and watch things burn. You know, those people are awful. I'd rather meet a Nazi.
What the
Oh my
fuck?
gosh.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's not good.
That's
Hey.
wild.
Hey Dylan,
Yes.
do you think they're gonna have some like overstock Cybertrucks? They're gonna sell them to like airport rental places, and so you're just gonna see a bunch of people riding around in them whenever they're like stopping in Los Angeles.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Driving in LA is hard enough as it is.
Dylan's gonna see the Tesla truck.
He's gonna see that shit first. He's gonna go to watch some advanced screening, some obscure fucking French film. The director's gonna pull up in that shit, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I want one now."
Oh
I need
my
that.
god. Oh, Jesus Christ. It says that Tesla's polarizing Cybertruck was pre-ordered 187 times within 3 days.
187,000.
Yeah, 187,000 times. Fuck, dude.
I'm gonna pre-order that.
No, it looks
I
like
can't even-
fucking garbage. I'm looking at it. It looks like garbage.
Do it.
Oh my
Looks like it
god.
came straight out of Minecraft. Fuck you.
This shit looks awful. What? Okay, think about this. You go to a fucking tailgate at your campus, they're gonna fucking make fun of you. I would make fun of you. This shit looks so bad.
From
I
Grand
think he
Theft
does it
Auto
on purpose.
4.
He's such a shitlord.
Oh my god, the thing looks fucking terrible.
That
He's
looks like
fucking-
just like
he's
Grand Theft
so
Auto
bad.
3 on like freaking 4K graphics.
He's fucking
You know,
upset.
like those fucking videos where they just basically turn out whatever.
Oh my god. Fuck.
Like, whatever.
Like, it looks so bad. It looks so...
How can you hate that? How can you hate it?
Because
It looks so good.
It looks awful.
You just don't like the future. You just don't like the future.
Yeah, I like to trust a car that can actually fucking run.
That can actually fucking function.
Yes, I don't have to worry about, oh god, is there a charging station? Oh, I'm on 2%, fuck! You know,
Oh,
I don't
fuck.
have to worry about that with my normal gas-powered car.
yeah, I would want it. It's like perfect in its simplicity,
It's like the
but
simplicity.
complex in its subtlety.
You know what's perfect in
Exactly.
its simplicity and complex at the same time? It Happened
Nothing.
One Night,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
which we
yeah,
saw
yeah.
about a month ago at this point in time, but we still remember it.
Oh god.
Meredith, do you want to introduce it? You can introduce it if you want.
To the best of my ability, I will.
Yes,
okay,
please.
So, I'll be running around in circles here, but okay. So essentially, It Happened One Night is a romantic comedy from 1934, directed by the iconic Frank Capra, and it stars Clark Gable and
What's her
blinked for
name?
a second. Claudia Colbert.
Yes. How could anyone
almost
forget her
lost
name?
me. God dang it.
Who could?
Ah, shame. Anyway, okay, so the movie is about this heiress, played by Colbert, and she runs away because her father is not letting her marry this dude that she really likes. This rich guy is really snooty, and so she barely has any money on her when she runs off, so she has to take this night bus where she meets Clark Gable. His character is this up on his high horse kind of newspaper reporter that's not really big time, but he thinks he is. Anyway, they end up driving or raiding on this bus all around the country, and it starts off with them like squabbling. They don't like each other, but eventually they sort of form this relationship where they rely on each other for different things, and of course they fall in love, and then this complicates things because she's engaged to be married and she's on the lam from her father. She's trying to hide her identity, and it's not good because she's with a reporter who at any moment could turn her in. So that's, Leon did a really better job describing this earlier, but that's basically what it is, the big broad picture of it.
Yes, and it's actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a very, I've heard great things about it, but it's actually different when you sit down and watch it, and it's like, this is so fun. It's just so fun.
Mm-hmm. That yawn.
I'm sorry, I yawned, my bad.
Very well placed.
That sounded so disinterested, like, yeah, you right.
I'm watching my better Kino's Knives Out.
Yeah, it's no Jesus is King, but it's pretty good. No, I really loved it, actually. It was a really charming watch, and I think that's something you can really give to the film, is that no matter how old it gets, it's always going to remain like crowd pleasing in a way where it's still like wow, that's cool, they really did that. It's admirably charming, and it's not like, this is overload, this is too much, and it really just sets up a whole kind of side genre of like fast talking, just fast paced in a way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of filmmaking in general. Like, I'm pretty sure you could narrow this down to being an inspiration or just kind of take away from what is now called the Aaron Sorkin's way of writing.
The now popularized Sorkin.
The Sorkin, like, hey, come here, let me talk to you, and then we're gonna have a 5-minute one take, and we're gonna be going through this hallway. And I'm gonna be talking like this, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, and we're gonna be back and forth, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
I love it.
That's that Aaron Sorkin dialogue. But you know what? This is actually a lot more interesting with how it presents itself, and I don't know. It's a really, really fun watch.
It's a very enjoyable watch just because of like how much the cast and crew seems to believe in the characters,
Exactly.
Which is ironic you say that, because how the story goes is that they, I think
they fought on set, didn't they?
They basically, like, I think I might be wrong on this, but Capra was like the only or one of the only people that believed in it, and supposedly like Claudette Colbert was so over it after she was like on her way, either she was at the station, I think at train station, or she was going to the train station or something on Oscars night, because she was like, I'm not getting any, like, this isn't gonna win any awards, like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
She was brought back to the awards, and obviously she, if I'm correct, I'm blanking right now, but
I think she won.
Yeah, she won.
It's the first film to perform a clean sweep for the top 5 Academy Award categories, otherwise known as an Oscar Grand Slam.
Thank you, because I hate that I was completely blanking on that, because I have the picture in my mind of, like, I think Shirley Temple gave her an Oscar. I'm like, I have that in my brain. I've got that picture, but yeah. So that's the interesting part, is like, it does come off as this passion project, and everybody is into it, and there's this energy.
They're rallying behind it, which is awesome to see, even if that's not true from what happened on set.
It's very Frank Capra-esque, because like with the Capra movie, it always feels like a grassroots thing. Like it's this everyday person, you know, anti-elitist or whatever you want to say thing that just everybody. It's happy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the only film I've seen from Frank Capra is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but I can definitely feel the imprint of his I would say auteurist thematics, or like his basically his auteur imprints on it.
Not to get way off topic here, but you've not seen It's a Wonderful Life yet?
I have not seen It's a Wonderful Life ever. I've managed to avoid that film for a very long time in my life, and I've never seen it. Yeah, never seen it.
We will work on that. Okay.
Holidays are coming up. I mean, that's a perfect opportunity to watch it.
Exactly. You one of the distinct, like, I think most people probably got their start with Capra through that movie. At least, like, most modern audiences. Yeah. Like, that's, people know him for that movie. So I feel like that's really kind of cool that you've dodged that. And that's...
I went to Mr. Smith is Washington instead. That was my first one.
Yes,
wow,
I love it.
That's a pretty out there choice.
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
Oh, real quick, when we're talking about It's a Wonderful Life, we're talking about It's a Wonderful Life directed by Clifton Kochi Sum, right?
Oh yes, the Chinese New Year. Hell yeah, I love that one. You know, I managed to avoid the Frank Capra one, but I was able to see the Chinese film. I was there in Hong Kong before the Tiananmen Square incident, so
beautiful. Oh my god.
So edgy. I'm sorry, that was so edgy.
You know what's a great moment? Okay, it's really quick going back to...
Yeah, go for it, go.
And I don't want to talk over because I know Dylan hasn't said anything, and he might not want to, but I don't want to talk over him. But I was going to say, one of my first experiences... Well, not very first, but like I probably hadn't seen very many classic films on the big screen before. I basically trying to jump into the fact that I was very fortunate to see It Happened One Night at the Egyptian in Hollywood.
Whoa, that's awesome.
That was the first time I visited there. It was like spring 2013. It was my freshman year of college, and I went with my dad, and we didn't get to do the movie after it, but it was like this double feature of that and Two for the Road with Audrey Hepburn and Albert Finney. I'd never seen Two for the Road before that, and I was bummed. Like, it was just really late at night, so we couldn't stay and see it. But that was, I think I had seen It Happen One Night maybe once or twice before. I think I'd checked it out at like the local library, and it was one of those where when I watched it, I probably was like distracted on my phone. I'm pretty sure, because I remember after seeing it at the Egyptian, no distractions, beautiful theater, big crowd, and all that stuff, like how enjoyable it was. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize how great this movie was. So new appreciation to that. But kind of tying into the whole seeing old movies at the movie theater and how awesome it is, especially like a movie like that, it just amplified the whole experience. It was really cool, and I hope to see that again on the big screen someday. And I would recommend, if you ever get the chance to do it, like I would totally recommend that.
Definitely.
I would love to see It Happen One Night with a full audience. I think it'd be a great time.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because people are just cracking up at it's like every little thing. Like,
it's a funny movie. Like,
it is.
I wasn't expecting it to be funny. I know it's labeled as comedy, but it's like I wasn't expecting to laugh, which is weird going into a comedy. But it's like, I guess I've grown so jaded from like sort of modern like comedy films where I'm like, that's not funny. But if pufferfish eating a carrot is funny to me.
Yeah.
So when I watched this movie, I had a great time watching it.
It's so true though, because usually a lot of times like rom-coms, at most you might get like a chuckle or like half-hearted laugh here and there. It's like, oh, whatever. But Yeah, I'm trying to think of like specifics in the movie, but one of the scenes that always cracks me up is when right after, and I really mean, I'm not like ironic thing, iconic, the iconic scene in which Claudette Colbert bares her leg to stop Alan Hale, who's driving
Oh
his car.
yeah, yeah. Because he's like, "This is how you do it, see?" And he's got like the thumb out, and he's like, "You gotta move the thumb. It's all in the thumb." And then she just puts her leg out, and boom, like that, like gets the guy to come out.
Sex appeal for the win. But then the scene right after that, like when Alan Hale picks them up, and he's like singing about how like the young people in love, and he's just like going off on them being this couple, and it's just like he's just nonsensically rambling and singing about how, like, what is it, young people in love are seldom hungry or something like that.
Yeah, he's saying something really weird, and Clark Gable's like, "Hey, can you stop? Can you stop singing?"
He's just like, I don't know why that was like that part like always cracks me up. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
You know what part made me laugh a lot was when Clark Gable was talking to the I don't know what you'd call him, like the bus, not the bus driver, but he's, I don't want to call him a bus guard, but he's the guy who's riding the bus to make sure everything's orderly.
Oh, I can't think of I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what you call him though.
Yeah, but that scene is hilarious. I love the way that Frank Capra is able, or not Frank Capra, but I guess the way that Frank Capra is able to weave the dialogue in between each other to make the humor authentic. I love the way that they're able to. It's being playful with words is how Clark Gable is being, because he's just being so nano-specific with this word choice.
Yeah. It goes from him talking. Is that like one of the first, the first scene you see him? Well, after he's talking on the phone.
It's after he talks on the phone with the editor.
He's bullshitting, like he's making these guys think he's like winning this argument. He's not. Like, I always thought that was really clever too, because you know what's going on the other side. These guys don't. He just acts like he's big and tough, and it's like,
oh, it's hilarious.
Dumbass.
Well, when he gets on the bus, he literally throws all the newspapers off the bus.
Yeah. It's like it transfers from that guy, whatever he said. I can't think of what that, not attendant, whatever his title is, and then it's like transfers over to Claudette Colbert, like once she gets on. Yeah. He's just always being kind of like an asshole to somebody.
It's always. It's a really fun movie. I had a great time watching it, honestly. Dylan, what did you think about it?
Yes.
You're Silent Steve over there.
I know. Always.
Oh no.
Dylan?
Oh yeah, it was pretty fun.
You know what? That's the most we're gonna get from him. That was.
It's been a while since I've seen it. Okay.
I know. It's been like a month since we watched this movie.
You know, I'm looking up some things on IMDb for it, and apparently, what Clark Gable did was, on the first day of showing up, he said, "Let's get this over with." He said it very grimly, like it was the end of his career.
The end.
It's crazy because it was just the beginning of his career. Like, he'd been in a few things. He'd been like, the movie I can think of, like Night Nurse. Like, he plays a heavy. So it's crazy. Like, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but this is like the first or one of the first roles he gets where he gets to be. He's likable and he's the big. I don't know. Like,
his face is on the poster. Star. You know.
It's great. Yeah, I like him being. Like lighthearted and whatever you want to call it, flirtatious and stuff.
You know, for a romantic comedy, they don't kiss.
Oh yeah.
Good point. That's a good point.
They don't kiss, and apparently on IMDb it also says, because I just got that from IMDb. It also it says that it's the first movie to feature a bride leaving the fiance at the altar.
What? I didn't know that either.
Yeah, apparently it's the first one according to IMDb. Take that as you will.
Now I'm trying to figure out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like, that's interesting. I would have never actually, I never even thought of that as a trope for the 30s, like that being new. But it makes sense.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's interesting. I'm trying to look up too when what date the code went out the window, because this was released in 1934, so I don't think this was depending on what when it was made during 34. I can't remember if it's considered a pre-code or not. It doesn't seem pre-code-ish. I don't think
it is pre-code.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not, because I think the most, because I'm saying I'm trying to I'm literally going and thinking about okay, do you see lingerie and all that stuff? These are the things one looks for here, but what some of the big points are that Clark Gable, I think it's the first time you see an undershirt, he took off his
his
and
suit.
That's a big thing. And then I like how they still got in a couple of innuendos with the walls of Jericho, when he puts the sheet between them in the cabin, because they're trying to pretend like they're married, and back then of course you didn't want to get caught being unmarried in the same place, and so the whole walls of Jericho, and then at the end, I guess I don't think this a spoiler alert because it's so old. I guess I can
we can just spoil any movie. We're never going to apologize for spoilers on this podcast.
I mean, me and Dylan have no problem doing it.
How the walls of Jericho come tumbling down at the end, they're married, and they got I always like how the people who run the motel there were talking about how he asked for a toy trumpet and a rope or something, and it's that sounds really kinky, but anyway, I love it.
Oh, is this?
Is it what? You cut out there for a second.
Oh no! I just didn't know what the fuck I was gonna say. Is this the point when we don't know what the fuck else to say about this movie?
Pretty much, yeah. But I do have one. I have one cool little fact on IMDb again. Good old shout out to IMDb. Clark Gable gave the Oscar he won for his performance in the movie to a child who admired it, telling him it was the winning of the statue that had mattered, not owning it. The child returned the Oscar to the Gable family after Clark's death.
Oh.
Wow.
It's very sweet, Mr. Clark Gable, who I don't think had I don't know if he had a very long career in Hollywood. I mean, he has 82 credits under his belt, which is pretty good. It's just that most people think of him as, okay, Gone with the Wind, It Happened One Night.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I mean, I mean, maybe Mutiny on the Bounty, but I don't think of Clark Gable other than Gone with the Wind, and now this film.
And it's crazy. That's another really good point. How it's almost I don't know if this is a good way to describe no, I can't think of words. Comparing him to James Dean, where James Dean was only in 3 movies, and he's so iconic. Again, I'm going to say iconic, and I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point, because I never really thought about that with Clark Gable said it, but it's true. There are really only, and I sometimes think about the Misfits. I mean, mostly because that was his last movie, and he's in it with Marilyn Monroe and who else is in that? Montgomery Clift and Eli Wallach and everything. But yeah, it's he died too young too. He was.
Didn't he die of alcoholism or something?
A Real Star is Born, huh?
I think A Real Star.
No, I think he died of something with heart failure or something.
I think he had a heart attack.
Heart failure, something like that.
Something like that. I think he was unexpected. Yeah, because let me look real quick here. I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this shit up.
Right.
See. God, if only my internet would move at anything other than 2.4 gigahertz per second.
Yeah.
It's fucking shites. Let's see. Blah 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 blah.
Literally can't find this either.
God, he has such a long history. Okay.
I know.
He suffered from a heart attack.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
He seemed to be improving, but he then died of a blood clot.
Huh.
Damn.
That's sad. That's actually pretty sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the medical staff did not perform CPR for fear that the procedure would rupture Gable's heart, and the defibrillator was not available at the time.
Damn. It's awful.
Yeah, just wow. And then it says, I knew he had a son that was born. I couldn't remember how long it was after he died. It says, what was it? He died end of 1960, and then his wife gave birth to his only son March 20th, 1961. It says at the same hospital that Clark Gable had died 4 months earlier.
Huh.
Yeah, that's great. And then, gosh.
Okay, I do have one thing to talk about. I mean, I feel like we've all said our piece on It Happened One Night. Great movie. Go watch it, everybody.
Yes.
I was going to
Fantastic.
ask you, Meredith, how you felt about the idea of James Dean being casted in a new movie.
Okay, that's a great question. Also, I've not heard much about this. Can you give me like a quick rundown? Because I think I know what's going on, but I don't know all of it.
Basically, they're going to use the technology that they did in Fast and Furious 7, and then just kind of most of the state-of-the-art technology to recreate James Dean from archive footage and cast him in a new movie about Vietnam, and it's going to be called Finding Jack.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my gosh. Oh, I don't even. That's really interesting. And thank you too, because like I said, I knew like half of it, but I didn't know exactly like what the movie was.
I think it's horribly wrong. It's super wrong.
I don't know. That's way out there. I don't think that I would make the choice to do that either. I'm not gonna lie. I might watch it because I'm super interested to see like
How that would happen? How that would go?
Yeah,
What
like
they
I'm
would do.
curious. I am curious. I'm not gonna lie.
They're gonna pull the Irishman.
Ugh.
The thing is that
Yeah.
the director was saying that, oh, I'm surprised at the backlash I've received for this movie. And it's like, no, you knew what you were doing when you went ahead and casted James Dean in a movie that he had no... Like, James Dean did not participate in any way, shape, or form with the Vietnam War. He
Yeah.
died before the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
And it's an action movie, too.
Yeah, that's
I think it's so tasteless.
I
definitely.
think it's, yeah.
It's like there's almost too much, like technology. There's just like too much now where people can just do stuff like that, and you're like, but
You can just
why?
drag around
You can-
somebody's corpse, literally.
It's fucked
Yeah.
up, you know? It's like this
Because you don't know if he
idea...
would have wanted to do that or not. Like,
Yeah.
using his likeness it's a big thing, and I mean, it's one thing for his whatever his estate says, but like it's still not him. Like
Yeah, it's not him.
his consent.
And then how do
Yeah.
you do James Dean's voice? You just gonna have someone who sounds like James Dean to do James Dean, or are you gonna use archival footage of James Dean for the movie and splice the audio together? It sounds like you're putting way more effort and work into this movie than just making a normal movie by putting in a normal actor into the movie.
Exactly. Sounds like a YouTube poop waiting to happen, like splicing up dialogue or jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, somebody
You
else.
could just
There are
cast
people
James
that-
Franco.
That's what I was
I mean-
gonna say, James Franco.
James Franco is James Dean.
It looks like it a
Honestly.
little bit, yeah.
He kind of does.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think the whole way that the internet's reacted to it is that it like people are like, well, like, does this open up a whole dark future about how we'll be seeing all of these dead celebrities up on screen? Like, once the Beatles all die, are they just going to do digital tours of the Beatles?
That's
Oh, God.
insane. It's like this whole Disney. Everything's going back to Disney right now, but like this remake craze and stuff. It's so interesting how it's going to be roped into like not even just remaking movies, but now we're like going to use the technology to bring back dead celebrities. It's like a whole new level of remake, and that's just absolutely ugh. icky. I don't like it.
Yeah, and
But
so looking at the story, New Music Entertainment (NME) reports that CGI versions of Elvis Presley and Paul Newman almost joined James Dean in the film Finding Jack, which is going to be the Vietnam James Dean CGI movie. Apparently, Elvis Presley and Paul Newman were almost casted in the movie.
oh my god.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
There was this one movie, I think it was like 2013, 2014, where
The
basically
Congress.
the plot, the Congress, yeah, where it was, for anybody who doesn't know, it was this story about this actress who, in this version of Hollywood, they're basically so advanced that they just scan her and they use her likeliness and they place her in film, right?
Yes, they're like saying that if you sign this, that you lose all rights to make any public appearances, anything like that.
Yeah.
And that we can do whatever we want with your image for this amount of money.
Dang.
And it's an interesting idea. I think that the Congress is becoming a real thing.
It's becoming a reality, and we know how that movie ended. So,
yeah. I don't, but hey.
Jesus Christ.
I think it's pretty fucked up, to be honest. But what can you do? I mean, I could just not see the movie.
yeah,
That's true. That's
you
true.
just go watch Southland Tales instead.
You just go watch literally anything else in theaters.
Honestly,
Yeah. Support your indie and local theaters and indie filmmakers and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do we want to get into the recommendation of the week? The recommendation of the podcast. I think it's Dylan's gone.
Dylan's turn.
No. It's
No,
my
it's
turn.
Leon's turn.
It's Leon's then.
I've
It was
waited.
your turn, yeah.
I've waited so long for this.
Oh God, I'm fucking scared now.
I've thought about it for a very long time. I was like, what kind of spicy thing can I throw on you guys? I was thinking long and hard about it. I was like, all right, well, what movie have I not seen? That's
If
a
it's
hard.
anime, I'm
No,
not gonna watch it.
It's not. You can't. That's not the rules. You have to.
Now I know it's anime. God damn it.
No, I'm just saying that that's not the rules. You freaking liar! Don't try and just cheat your way out of this. I'm saying that I don't know, because it's hard finding a movie that both you and Dylan haven't seen and Meredith haven't seen. It's hard.
It is. It's tough.
It's tough. But I think I have a movie that I want to watch despite that,
Oh yeah.
Yes. And I think I'm going to pick the film. Let me just pull it up real quick. Let's see. I am going to pick the movie Simon Killer.
Ooh, okay.
I will link
Looking it
it
up now.
in the chat here. But this is Simon Killer, and I've been wanting to see it for a very long time, and I figured, why not now?
Ooh, so you're watching this for the first time along with us?
Simon Killer?
Yes.
Ooh,
I've seen this.
I like it. Okay.
I know, but
I love Simon Killer.
I was like, I'll do it because I figured I'll run into eventually I'll find something that no one has seen that I can throw on, but right now
I mean,
I'm
compared
good.
to everybody, it's
Yeah, I think 1 out of 4 is pretty good.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
a
gonna
great
go with
movie.
Simon Killer, and I am excited to watch it. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to think or have to say about it.
And also little newsflash: the main actor, Brady Corbett,
Did
Right.
Vox Lux.
Yeah, he directed Vox Lux, which was
A great movie. Awesome movie.
Great
Not
movie.
as good as Funny Games US, to be
Which
honest.
he
Fuck
was
out
in.
of here. Fuck out of here. Oh yeah, he was the one who got headshotted, right? He was like boom. he got hit by the boom boom stick, right?
The boom shotgun stick
I don't
by
know, I
a
never saw
Naomi
it.
Watts.
Yeah. And he's like, you can't do that. That's cheating.
I don't think he was the one that got shot. I think it was his friend that got shot.
Who knows? The fat one, right? Or the kind of chunky one?
I don't know. Because in the original Funny Games, this is the chunky one, I think, who gets shot. And the skinny one is the one...
Brady Corbett was like fat fuck in that movie.
He's not a fat fuck in that movie. What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?
was.
He's skinny.
He's
He's
like
skinny in
fucking
that movie.
Chuckmeister.
Whoa.
No,
Whoa, they have a Saint Laurent movie involving this guy.
He's a
Brady
little Brady Colbert's a little chubby now, but
Isn't
that's
that
all right.
Fucking Bertrand Bonello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
It's Borcha and Vanilla though, so I'm expecting it to be like masterpiece, like underrated gem.
Yeah, like Nocturama.
Well, I mean, this was an episode.
No,
I mean, it's been...
Nocturama's not an underrated gem.
Yeah, it is. It's like so underseen.
Anyone got any parting words before we disappear
everybody's
for a month?
glitchy. It's like
My parting word is that hopefully it won't be a month.
Hopefully it won't be a month.
hopefully it won't be.
I
God,
know, I hate that the one thing about having a work schedule is
We
that
all
actually
have
I've been
different
going-
schedules, and the holiday season's coming up. It's just how it is.
I
But
know.
you know,
Yeah,
hey, we got to do it
Ironically-
again.
We did.
exactly. The holiday season for me, I typically have more free time at night because I stay up late, and so hopefully that will allow.
Well-
not everybody's the same way, but hopefully
this
we'll see.
these holidays, I'm fucked. I'm gonna be gone this whole week, and you know what? It's at least we got this shit done. We did
Yeah.
it. We did it, guys.
Yes.
Hey,
This
that's
is-
an
this has been another
episode.
Metrocast. Oh, hold up. Are you still
Yes.
recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording.
Okay, hold up. I hope y'all fuckers enjoyed it, because this is probably the last one you're gonna get for like a month.
Don't say
Focus.
that. That'll curse us.
It's gonna curse. Hold up. Knock on wood.
Oh man, they're knocking on my door.
Knock. The FBI's
It's
coming.
the feds.
They're coming to get me. Piracy.
No, it's Disney. It's Disney.
Piracy.
It's Disney.
It's the Disney police.
Oh,
Disney
no.
employees. They've come.
Think about that. We live in a great new world, but it's just Disney pills.
It's Disney pill. Good God, this has been Metrocast.